So a little birdie, aka Henry Cejudo, who has not messaged me in any way, shape, or form, DM'd me or anything privately. He just put this on his public stuff. So I don't have any insider knowledge with Henry or what his plan is. But he is not coming out of retirement. In fact, he had probably took a few days to just process the loss, come back, and now he's saying that the last time that he took two losses in a row, he came back and won a championship. So Demetrius Johnson, Joseph Benavidez, different era, obviously. Even though, to be real, there was a point deduction in that Benavidez fight that probably changed the course of that decision. But I really think Henry Cejudo would have beaten Joseph Benavidez, but they were a really good matchup at the time. So I mean, it's a little bit different of a story, especially now that you see the Marab, like, one-sidedness of that fight. Do I think Henry's going to come back for a title? We don't know. We're going to have to see something. I really don't want to be the guy to be a naysayer because anything could happen. I don't like listening to those negative voices of people saying you can't do something. It's toxic, and obviously Henry isn't listening to any of the hate. And you know what? Good for Henry. I know that guy gets a lot of criticism and he gets a lot of hatred for who he is. He's just himself. He's not trying to be Conor McGregor. He's not trying to be Tony Ferguson. He's not trying to be Habib Nurmagomedov or anything like that. He's just trying to be himself, and you got to respect a guy like that. But he's saying he wants to come back and keep coming at it. Now, do I think that a title fight is going to be on the future pick for him? I do not know. Okay, I really don't. I know that age is a factor. Now, do I know for certain what he can do? Is he could possibly do some smaller fights that are going to bring in some things because he's still in addition to a lot of undercards at the moment. This is what we know. Now, we're not going to be talking about any titles on the show for him. We're not going to be talking about anything like that until we just see him strike together a couple wins, get his feet wet, get back in the grind, get better, get things taken care of. I really think that he is not finished if he says so, and he's going to finish on his own terms. Just like Tony Ferguson, he's going to retire when he says it's time to retire. This is his career. It's his choice. Now, although, he kind of is not on the best of terms with Dana White in the UFC, I think that, he's really fighting an uphill battle, and you got to give props. He wants to dust himself back off. He wants to keep coming back, and you know what? Persistence can be very powerful, especially if you're just smart with it. It doesn't mean if you persistently run into a wall, you're going to eventually not run into a wall, but not giving up and trying to find a way to work around it or trying to change up your strategy on how to level up in life. That's a very good thing. But while I'm not saying there's anything that he could do at for a title at 135 or even go down to 125 if he wants to try and make that weight again, I do see that there's some possible money fights for him if they ever want to bring Demetrius Johnson back for a trilogy fight. I know that they're in a little different spots in their career, maybe. Maybe if he wants to fight some of the lower guys. He's got Corey Sandhagen, Cody Garbrandt. I know Davidson Figueiredo is now in bantamweight. Now, I know those guys are basically teammates at this point, but let's think about it here. Does he really want to, fight his teammate, or is he trying to help this guy up? Does he want to fight Rob Font? Does he want to fight who else do we got coming up? Does it maybe a Peter Yan fight? Because he could take advantage of Peter Yan's style. He could really take down Peter Yan a bunch of times. I just kind of feel like. And then I don't want to plagiarize a point that was made, but there was another MMA channel that I was watching that points out that Peter likes to really shell up, take a few, and then give back, and sometimes that could cost him. So that's not my total idea, but when the guy pointed out, it was absolutely right on the money. I forget the name of that channel, but I'm going to have to give that guy some credit because I don't want to just pass myself off, though. This is all my idea. But he could also go for 145 for some kind of like Conor McGregor style money fights if he really wants to. Maybe headline some Vegas cards if he wants, like some smaller Apex ones. Who knows? He could probably do that. What I really think could happen is maybe Brendan Moreno, if he's finished at flyweight, because I don't know if he's going to want to fight Alex Pantoja a fourth time, because it's not like Davidson Figueiredo where there was some questionable flip-floppiness. It's probably going to be another thing, because I think Pantoja has just shown that he is above Brendan Moreno in every possible level. But if Moreno wants to come up to 135 or maybe 145, like, we don't have to make that crazy weight fight just for the storyline, because I'd like to see Brandon Moreno fight Henry Cejudo. I know that they have history. That would be a good selling point, because there's still a lot of salvageable stuff with what's left of Henry's career that he could possibly use to build up some steam, build up some things for the fans, because I think that's what he really wants to service is the fans at this point. So to see Henry not want to check out right now, it shows the kind of guy he is, that no, there's still some salvageable stuff in here. We're going to use that to our advantage, and that's the way it's going to be. And you know what, Henry? Good for you. You're not listening to the hate. You're not listening to the doubters. You're not listening to these people who want to see you fail. It's good. And I'm just throwing some ideas for what he could do for his career out there. But I think that there's a lot that Henry can do just to salvage some stuff and maybe go out a little more comfortably. Because I feel like if he were to retire after that Merab fight and after the hard deal that the UFC just cut him, that would just be tragic to such a legacy that he has left. And now I know he wasn't always around and he left right in the middle of his prime, but you could tell that he's kind of taking some accountability for that and still wants to just come back with something. Maybe not get the gold medal, but go back into a redemption bracket and go for the bronze. Who knows? But you know what? That's what I got to say about this. Good for Henry Cejudo for not checking out right now. There's a lot of good stuff that he could do right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of it. I will see you guys on the next episode.